Oh, oh. Hey, patrol members. Welcome back to the Mojave Patrol. I'm glad you can join me tonight because let me adjust this a hair. We have something really special, something you've been waiting for a long time, and you're really going to appreciate it. First off, we have my ubiquitous grape Kool-Aid. You know what that means, a fine cigar. It is 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, and it is about 75% humidity and 75 degrees outside. I'll put the, for you imperial deniers, I'll put the non-imperial temperature and times and stuff down here. So you won't be left out. Pardon me. I'm sorry, once again, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. That's why there was no Wednesday video. I just was not feeling up to it. But I'm sorry, my tassel's on the wrong side of my fez. Is that better? I don't know. I'm not a fez aficionado. But you'll notice we have lime juice, ginger ale, and a glass with ice. Well, it's got some water in now. And a mid-century modern shot glass. And I got a nice little knife from, actually a souvenir knife from someplace. It's not marked, but it's pretty sharp. And I have a Tobacco Special Drew Estate a Star of Nicaragua here, made by hand. It's called a Red Eye Tobacco Special by Drew Estate. And let us get into that. Into that first. You notice it's got a little tail. But we're going to cut that little tail off. Let me get this knife unencumbered from this carabiner. Here's our little knife, very small. And let us, oh, look at that. That cuts like butter. And I've cut off the little tail. That has a nice aroma. I apologize. I really, truly do. That has a nice aroma. Let's get a draw on it. You know what? I've discovered that from Drew Estate, it's a microscopically, almost infinitesimally, I detect a small amount of dryness, which is not good. But it's got an easy draw. Now I got this directly out of the package, and the end of it has been damaged. How weird is that? We're going to light that, and then when we smoke it down to the lower band, I'll remove the lower band because I don't want it fraying on me. And we have a new to us lighter. Check this out. Actually, it doesn't work. It worked 100 times. There we go. Man, that is a nice cigar. That's got a nice draw on it. Mmm. That is excellent. Oh yes. Very nice. Mmm. Let me get a good char on the end of it there. I think I can safely remove this band now without it falling apart. There we go. Okay. Well, Bill, what is so special about today? I will tell you. I got a box in the mail. Oh yes. And we're going to use this knife to open it. I am just abuzz with anticipation. Let's close that knife. And you know what? Even though this knife is from the 40s or 50s, it still has that safety stop right here to keep you from accidentally over-rotating it onto your finger. Modern knives don't have that. Oh. Have you already guessed what it is? Those of you in the know will know. It is James Gin American Ramsturd. Oh. It is 80 proof, 700 millimeters, a gin by James May, product of the UK, batch number 2, 2023. Botanicals: yellow mustard seed, gherkin, juniper, coriander seed, angelica root, dried tomato, see, as an homage to our friends across the pond, licorice root, orange peel, I'm going to say cubeb pepper, rosemary, caraway seed, ginger, and bay. 100% natural grain spirits. Bottled and distilled by South Florida's distillery in Florida. Share your honest opinion at American Ramsturd, the best gin the best gin I've ever tasted at jamesgin.com. We'll be the judge of that. Don't be angry, folks. Don't be angry. It's levity. Levity. Now, you ready, guys? You ready? The all-important part. Government warning. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car and operate machinery. and may cause health problems. Not that just breathing the air doesn't cause some kind of health problem today. You know, people in this state, and I live in California in the United States, are always complaining about the quality of the air. Now, 60 years ago, now, let's put it in context. I live approximately 8 or 9 miles away from the San Gabriel mountain chain. And every morning I can get up and walk out in my front yard and sip my coffee and see the majestic mountains. But in 1963, or 64, this is 2024, in 1964, when I would get up in the morning and walk outside of my house sipping my orange juice in my front yard, I couldn't see those mountains. As a matter of fact, I moved to California in September of, I think 1963, 62, somewhere in that period of time. I was a little kid, so it's a little hazy. And it wasn't until the first rains that came around near the end of October that I knew there were mountains there. I remember walking outside to go to school, looking up at the, after the rain, looking up at the mountains and being shocked. And I had to run in and tell my mother that the mountains had appeared overnight. And from that point on, I realized out of the 365 days a year that you had, you were lucky to see the mountains of 30 of those. And then it was only in the winter because the smog was so bad. You would play on the playground and come in, and you would have like burning, like a Kentucky hug, but it's a smog hug, and it was way worse. But anyway, I'm digressing. We need to get to this gin. So I'm going to take my... Oh no. It has a pull tab. How nice of them to provide it. Okay. Let's test the pop. Ready? Ooh, a nice mild pop. Oh, that has a nice aroma, a nice smell, so to speak. Oh, where's my shot glass? Cork that. It actually has floaties in it. Little tiny, I don't know if you can actually see them. But that's okay. Could be the botanicals. I don't know exactly how this is manufactured, not being at the factory. And there's a Kipling piece, and I apologize because I don't know the exact phraseology, but it has to do with the British Tommy, and it's like Tommy this and Tommy that, and throw him out the brute. But the hero of his country is when the guns begin to shoot. So, to all the Tommies out there who have fought and sacrificed now and then, and back then, for all you Tommies who are still alive from the Second World War, I salute you, being a veteran myself. That's a nice Shropshire hug there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Hmm. Yes, I can smell that a little bit of that aroma of was that the Great Eastern? James, if Isambard Kingdom Brunel were alive today, he would approve of your gin. It is excellent. Nice and smooth, nice and flavorful, not too harsh. Let me finish this off. Yes, it's the best gin I've ever tasted. So I'm going to be a brute, and I'm going to make a mixed drink. Now here in the United States, it's called a gin buck. So you take your glass, and this is from Roy's Cafe off of Amboy on Route 66. And I am going to take and put 2 shots of James Gin in the glass. Then you take ginger ale, and I apologize. I have to use bottled lime. I do not have fresh lime, so I'm sure that there will be some lacking. But you add just a splash of lime. And I'm going to use my vintage knife as a cocktail stirrer. And here's looking at you, kid. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. So I advise everybody within the sound of my voice to pick up a bottle of American Ramsturd. You will not go wrong. I think tomorrow I'll have a gin and tonic. That was very good. So what else is new? Not much. I got solar roofing, and it was all hooked up over the past 2 days. And let me tell you that my meter runs backwards. A lot of people are going to call BS on that, but it does. The meter shows you when power is coming in and when power is going out. Now I can tell you right now that power is coming in because it is dark. And of course the solar panels don't generate anything at night. Do they work in moonlight? I don't think so. I don't think so. You know what? Hang on 1 second. Oh, oh. I'm never going to get used to that. Never. Never. Oh. Here, let me brace myself. Yes, so I got it from a company called ESP, the solar roofing. They did an excellent job installing it. It did take a long time um, after we signed the contract to get it installed, but it is installed. They had to break out the part of the wall and the stucco around the old panel and remove it. Then put in a new panel, a new weatherhead. Then they had to tie into that, and they had to tie into the house electrical. And they were done. You could not even tell that there was ever an old electrical panel in the wall. As a matter of fact, I'll show a picture of before and after. And right in here somewhere. You will not believe how well they did that. It's just amazing. But hopefully this will help lower our electric bill, because we were just using a lot of power. A lot of power. Finally got our backyard cleared out for the most part. Still a little pickup to do, but I'm not too worried about it. Marlene's up visiting the kids. She'll be home tomorrow. My truck is in the shop still. It's been there since last Friday because somebody broke into my truck. They damaged the lock on the driver's door. That had to be replaced. Then when I get my bill from the dealer, I submit that to my car insurance. Of course, I have a $500 deductible, so it is going to cost more than that to repair because it's all electronic, of course. But still, I got to pay a certain amount out of my pocket. They said it's going to be ready tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. And what else? That's it. And now we got windows coming, probably in 4 to 6 weeks. Well, probably 4 to 5 weeks now. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And that should really help us save energy money. Because the windows in the house are put in the 50s. It's just single pane glass. When it's hot outside, it's hot inside. So, but hey, you do what you have to do, right? So, anyway, so there is that. And aside from that, everything's okay. Everything is fine. For those of you in another country, election is coming up here in 2-3 months. I'm not going to get into it. You're voting for the lesser of two evils. Master and Commander, an officer can't go wrong if he chooses the lesser of two evils. I actually thought that was a pretty funny joke. It was a good movie. I really enjoyed that. Anyway, so what is my view on this cigar? Right now, this cigar is excellent. This is a 5 Joshua Tree cigar right here. I don't normally smoke short cigars, but that is a good cigar. It's not hot. It's flavorful. It's rich and robust. It is a Maduro, like you'd expect. But it's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. What else? That's about it. The James Gin, once again, 5 Joshua Trees. This is outstanding. This little cocktail is excellent. As a matter of fact, and you know this is rare for me, I'm going to freshen it up. Because it is really good. Well, James, if you see this, unfortunately this bottle's not going to last long. I guess I'm going to have to buy a second one. Don't make a mess, don't make a mess. Where's my swizzle stick? Excellent. Excellent. That is smooth as silk. And I hear that the Grand Tour is coming to a close. That's a shame. James, Jeremy, and Richard have been together for many, many, many years. And there's a chemistry there that you just cannot instantly replace. Now, when Jeremy left, Top Gear, and the others followed him, they tried to replace them with new celebrities, presenters, and what have you, and it just didn't work, in my opinion. It just didn't work. And then the American version was trash. It was just utter trash. There has to be a good enough chemistry for that to work. And that wasn't there. It wasn't there in the new Top Gear in the UK, and it didn't ever exist here in the American version. And that's something that comes with time. But, that being said, the people have to mesh like the synchros in a very finely made transmission from the beginning. And as they work together, it becomes smoother. The same thing happened when I'm drawing a blank. Really tall. Well, never mind. Oh, okay. The same thing happened when Ed China left his show. He and Mike Brewer had an excellent rapport with each other. But when Ed China would not compromise his standards for the show, he left. And they replaced him with someone else to work with Mike, and it just didn't seem to work. It just It just didn't seem to work. And of course, I follow James May on his YouTube channel, and I follow Ed China on his YouTube channel because unfortunately, those are the people that make the show work. I would very much like to meet one of them someday. Any one of them. Well, I'd like to meet all of them, but, you know, you beggars can't be choosers, so. And I have fortunately been able to meet a number of famous YouTubers. I met Paul at Fab Rats and his family. I met Matt Wetzel from Matt's Off-Road Recovery. I met him and his family. I've met Holly Fowler from Mischief Maker. I met her. And all these are excellent human beings, excellent people. If you want to see excellent people do excellent things, go to Fab Rats on YouTube. Go to Matt's Off-Road Recovery on YouTube. Go to Mischief Maker on YouTube and follow them on Facebook or TikTok or whatever they're on, Instagram, because they're excellent human beings, fine human beings, and that's what's important. I met Pom Pom, Ranmaru Pom Pom, gas mask girl from Japan, and she was a very, very pleasant human being. I was a total stranger to her, and not only was she in a foreign country, not knowing the language or anybody, she interacted to me like I'd known her for 100 years, and that's important. That is important. That's very important. You know. But hey, you know. I've met Adam the Woo. I've met Justin Scard. I've met Jake the Carpetbagger. And the only reason I met them was because I worked at Disney for 11 years, and they came to Disney quite often. And I got to see them there, and I actually spoke with them. And another one that's really obscure, you're probably not going to know who she is, but the Strawberry 17. I'm a Burry. So I met her. Megan Camarena. And she got on my tram and started talking to me like I've known her 100 years. How are you today? What's your name? Bill. Oh, it's nice to meet you, Bill. I'm Megan. Shook my hand. She was just an incredibly nice human being. And I didn't know at the time she was going through the worst period in her life. But yet she treated me like an equal. And that's important. There's an old British saying that says, if you want to know the true measure of a man, observe how he treats his lessers. And I'm a firm believer in that. Not that the people today are less than, I'm not saying that anybody is less than the next person. But that's just an old saying. And that's very true. When the King of England passed away, and Theodore Roosevelt, the first sitting president to leave to the United States and travel to another country, went to the funeral, and he was picked up at the train station and brought to, I think, Buckingham Palace, where all the heads of state were gathering for the, I'm not going to say festivities, but for the event. He was picked up by an automobile and driven to Buckingham Palace. And of course, everybody's introduced all the way around, and they go up the steps to go inside. And they get halfway up the steps when one of the British military officers notices that Roosevelt's not with them. And they turned around, and there he is standing down the steps next to the car, next to the brush, next to the chauffeur. So they come back down the steps, and they said, Theodore, what seems to be the holdup? And he says, well, gentlemen, we had a fine round of introductions. And he points to the chauffeur, yet no one introduced me to this gentleman. Yeah. That's the measure of the man, right there. Well, I'm going to climb down off my high horse now and finish up this excellent cocktail here and this excellent cigar. And I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Please like and subscribe. Please share this video if you think it's good enough to share. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I mean that. I'm not, you know, no BS. It's the absolute truth. I remember Jack Benny was being interviewed once. Actually, no, it wasn't Jack Benny. It was his publicist. And they were at the Brown Derby having lunch. And this is in the 1950s. And, of course, every time someone walked by Jack Benny, his table, they had to stop and say hi or ask for an autograph. And his publicist said, you know what, Jack, don't you get tired of this? And Jack laughed. And he just does a waver on the table like this, and he says, all this is because of them. If it wasn't for those people who stop and say, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Benny. Can I have an autograph, Mr. Benny? Oh, you make me laugh, Mr. Benny. If it wasn't for them, I would have none of this. So the publicist just said, okay, you know. So, tomorrow's the start of Labor Day weekend. And to all the workers worldwide, this is for you. May you enjoy your Labor Day holiday here in the United States. May you rest, relax, recuperate, regenerate, and here's to you. And ladies and gentlemen, later.
Swing. It looks fun, doesn't it? It is fun, and you'd enjoy trying it yourself. You're never too old to learn, and the exercise will do you good. You could learn all the dances if you came to Arthur Murray's. You'd learn fast, too, even if you've never danced a step before. And you'd enjoy your lessons so much you'd always be looking forward to them. There's nothing like dancing for a new interest in life. But why not find out for yourself? If you're over 21, ring Trafalgar 7112 right away and say, I'd like a free trial lesson. It will place you under no obligation, and you really will enjoy it. So don't put it off. Ring Trafalgar 7112 right away. If you can't get through, keep on trying. We'll be waiting till 10 p.m. So for a free trial dance lesson without any obligation, ring Trafalgar 7112 now.